HarperCollins presents Beyond Grace's Rainbow by Carmel Harrington. Read by Caroline Lennon. Prologue. February 2012. The strangest sensation filled Grace's body. Her arms and legs felt as light as dry leaves whipping through an autumn breeze. And for a moment, it was as if part of her left her body and floated upwards towards the ceiling. She looked down towards Dr. Kennedy, who sat frowning in a battered old brown leather chair. He leant forward earnestly, looking at somebody who looked very much like her. I need to get my roots done, Grace thought, as she took in dark streaks peeping through her blonde curls. She recognised that it was a ridiculous thought to have in the circumstances, and she also knew that it was impossible to be in two places at once. She hadn't lost her marbles, yet, but somehow she was on the ceiling, watching the scene unfold below. Sitting beside Grace was her friend Sean. Even curiouser, she could feel Sean's hand gripping hers so tightly it hurt. The only logical explanation she could come up with was that this was one of those out-of-body experiences. The other possibility was that the shock of the news delivered stopped her heart. Do you understand what I've told you, Grace? Dr. Kennedy's voice jolted her back to reality with a bump and a crash. She fell from the ceiling and landed unceremoniously into the uncomfortable chair. Not dead, then. She considered complaining about the terrible chairs the patients had to sit on, while doctors had far more comfortable leather ones. The injustice of it seemed unbearable, but maybe this wasn't the time. I want to go back up there. Grace pointed to the ceiling. You're not making any sense, Sean said to her. He looked distraught. He probably thought she'd gone mad. Maybe she had. Grace, Dr. Kennedy said, gently, in a manner that suggested he'd seen far crazier things in his office all the same. No more floating on the ceiling. No more analysis on the state of the chairs. Yes, she understood all of that. But she wasn't ready. Grace decided she'd have one more stab at dodging the truth. There's been some kind of stupid mistake, and I'll be honest with you, it's not on. I'll be writing a strong letter to complain. I have a cold, or maybe even proper flu. That's why I've had this bad pain in my back. You always get aches and pains when you have proper flu. She turned triumphantly to Sean. As a GP himself, he often complained about his patients coming in with the common cold, but declaring they were in bits with the flu. As he often said, when you have the flu, you know it. You can't move, your body is aching so much. Grace felt a stab of irritation when Sean looked away. He couldn't look her in the eye. She looked at both of them with growing desperation. Grace knew she was clutching at straws, but she couldn't stop. This was her life they were talking about. Dr. Kennedy tried again, this time his tone sharper. Grace, you have a form of leukemia, commonly known as AML, acute myelogenous leukemia. I know that it's a lot to take in, and you must have many questions for me. I'll do my best to answer them as honestly as I can, but there's no doubt, I'm afraid. Grace felt a tear run down her cheek. Her breathing became ragged. It was as if a truck had smashed into her body. Then Jack's beautiful face popped into her head. His little voice said, in his beautiful sing-song voice, "Mommy, I love you." And with that, she knew she had to pull herself together. She had to fight this with every fibre of her being.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?